All right, here we go. Actually, this time with episode 84, we are going on one. Three, two, one. They're gonna replay. They're gonna replay this cold-blooded murder here. Up until the very last second, I thought he was gonna somehow pull it out, like he could turn off his territory somehow. It's crazy, man. I can't believe it. That is messed up. I hope they don't walk it back. Naruto famously did that. They walked back a really epic, fantastic character death, and I think the show suffered for that. Even though I've really enjoyed the character moving forward from that point, I'm glad he's alive. I just think that you shouldn't have done the fake out then if you weren't going to kill him. If you didn't have the balls to kill him, is what I'm saying. Yeah, he wasn't always in a boat, was he? They just recently did that. Wasn't he like leaning against the far wall in previous episodes? Maybe I'm wrong. I just never noticed the boat. Look at him sweating. Yeah, yeah. You're not in good shape, man. Right. Great. That's just fantastic. Yeah. What the hell are you watching? Some bullshit. At least it's action. Most of the time they'd be watching like a nature documentary. We don't believe they'd be watching that. Yeah, we ain't got time for all that. I'm kicking your ass now. What if it's supposed to be apocalypse now? Probably just some generic action movie, war movie. No, that'll never happen. Another bold choice. Show something else. That happens in the bad movies. Yes, let's have some comment. Oh, it's about Vietnam. Gotcha. He's not wrong. It must be apocalypse now. That's what he's referencing. Yep. Oh, you're one of those idiots. You start. You can start like Dark Side of the Moon, the album. If you start at the right time, the last note will drop right when in the New Year, like New Year's Eve. You start the album. Yeah. But or you start like a Wizard of Oz at a certain time, and the ball drop just when Dorothy kills the witch or some shit. Like a lot of people do that, right? You sync it up. But this was written a long time ago before people started doing it. That was an internet meme. What I'm talking about. People on the internet started that shit. This happened way before that. This was written what, the '90s? They were coming for his ass, boy. Look at it. Is the water like poison or acid or something? Because yep. Avoid the Noid. Hey, why are they coming out with a corpse? We don't have much time. I think she should be in there with the rest of them, even though she's weak now, right? Because you don't need reinforcements if you've only got a half hour left. Of course, she doesn't know that, but dumbass. Wow, I didn't realize we've seen him take it out before, right? Haven't we? Am I crazy? I feel like we've seen him take it out. Yeah, yeah, something she doesn't know. That is pretty shocking. I assume the pacifier is a can of whoop ass. So he pulls it out and he opens up a can of whoop ass. That's what I'm assuming. Get your damn hands away from him. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. They're using his power. That's why. They don't want him dead yet. I guess he was in a boat because he needs to be right underneath the tunnel where the tunnel's going to appear. I guess that makes sense. Nope, apparently not. That feels like cheating. Either have great intellect or great body, but don't have both. That was a long time ago. Did they say it's been 10, 15, 20 years? 10 years at least. He signed that contract a long time ago. Yeah. So you know about that, huh? I guess there'd be no other way you'd be here, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've already talked about this. That's probably a good answer. See, this is a problem with absolutes. Like not everybody's bad, not everybody's good. Like you can't say either one of those things. Yeah, he eats. I'm gonna murk this son bitch. This guy wouldn't make this choice if he thought it'd be easy. He's setting up a thing he doesn't think he can lose. So don't be overconfident. Yeah, right. That's another thing. Yeah, that is actually really brilliant. Sensue or whatever his name is one of the more brilliant villains I've seen. Just more good writing from what I was. By the way, I had a preamble video for this episode. You may have missed it if you're just looking for the reactions. Your eyes might just went right over it, right? I talked for 20 minutes about this series and the writing and all that shit. Don't touch semen. I mean, unless you want to. I mean, yeah. I'm talking about me. Now they got everybody sweating. That's not very nice. Quit reading us and just fight. Hey, he does have a heart. He's embarrassed for feeling bad. Yeah, I guess so. He eats powers. Yeah. Yeah, the news is wondering where he's been. He ate that some bitch. Yeah, this guy can control it. Why the hell would she look at you? She was looking past you, I promise you. Chomp. He's here to do that. You ever see the original V miniseries? They unhinged the jaw. Yeah, definitely. That's the only way they could depict it. I don't know that I'd want to see more than that. uh, okay. You like killing? Go ahead and catch another body, I guess. I do feel better about this matchup than Yusuke against this son bitch. Yusuke is still a little too high headed. I like that they're using a movie runtime as their timer. That is hilarious. Another bold writing choice. It does make sense he would like Apocalypse now because he likes to think humanity sucks, right? Well, we can just stand here and look at each other. The clock's against you. It's like if you're down by a point in the NFL and you're taking your time getting back to the line of scrimmage, the other team doesn't care. Do it. Stroll. We don't care. Let me flip my hair. I'm pretty. Oh, I was getting a rose. Okay. I'm going to plant you in the ground. He knows how to clear his mind. Now rip his face off. Oh, shit. I don't think it's going to be that easy, but that's a pretty good effect, man. Look at that. There's no way he's dead. Well, good first strike anyway. Am I going to keep believing people aren't dead when they're dead? I don't believe it. He ain't dead. He's a little pissed. He's still on guard. He knows his dude ain't dead. I'll keep that in mind for my second life. What the hell? Oh, he was shapeshifting this guy. Right, so he's not dead. Gotcha. Takor is the power eater, huh? Right. I told you he wasn't dead. I mean, that was obvious, right? There's no way it'd be that easy. They had me going though. Like when the hands didn't move and he stood over him, they had me going. I'll admit you. He's got jokes. Again, this is the Joss Whedon effect. Yeah. Okay. Break it down for us. Kind of like Voldemort, right? Just waiting for a dark apprentice. I'm not co-signing your stupid story. It pissed me off. I see. That's an interesting way to think about it. Yeah. Hey, man, I like that. That's pretty good. So I took over a body. Can you not be out of his jaw like that? That's very creepy. I see. This is a good plot twist. Uh, Made him sick. Having to shit out skulls must be very uncomfortable. Yeah. I like you when they're afraid. Stop looking at me for my hand. He's quite mad, you know. Yeah, we get it. This is a pretty good twist. I like it. Take this son bitch out. So I guess by taking over the body, he takes over the power to be able to eat other powers, right? See, here's the thing when we talk about voiceover, right? I don't like this voiceover voice, but at least it's an interesting choice. It's a talented choice. This is a good voiceover actor making this choice. I don't like the choice, but I can't knock it. At least he's making a choice rather than a boring monotone, right? So it's fine. See, to me, he seems a little too hysterical and unhinged to be taken seriously as a threat, right? Because it's comedic. That's why I don't like it. But I think that could just be the character. The character could just be completely unhinged, and he probably is, right? So he might have even been directed to do this. You know? Get him. Roach spray his ass. He's gonna kill you, man. I like you when you're calm, apparently. Oh, I see. Right. If you're calm, cool, and collective, you're thinking. Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. He's lying with his thoughts. I would think you could do that. I could sit here and think, I'm going to punch this guy, I'm going to punch this guy, I'm going to punch this guy, and have no intention of doing it, right? But maybe a mind reader could tell the difference. I'm not sure. Like, you could write it either way, right? Shit. Well, I also don't believe this death, right? He's made out of flowers. That's not him. I'm just a bunch of flowers. I'm not real. Smoking him out, literally and figuratively. Yeah. Again, another joke. That's like 3 or 4 jokes. We're gonna talk about that at the end. It's just interesting. It's not a complaint. It's just interesting. I think the writer is in a no-win scenario. Oh shit. Yeah. So it is a something made out of flowers in there, right? He's in there wearing himself out. Hey, you're having a little bit too much fun in there. Have we moved on to sex? Like, what are you doing in there? You dumbass. Was he attacking himself? What the hell? Was it some kind of like Jin? What do they call that when you're in a fantasy world in Naruto? Yeah. Oh Jesus, that can't be good. So it is like in Naruto, the Jinjitsu or some shit, or Jinkaki. At least he's getting a workout in. Nice. He's always thinking ahead. That's not bad. It's not a bad joke. Brilliant. So, give us our boy back unless you're a lying bitch. But what's in front? Yep. Well, I guess he's not technically dead. He is defeated though. Give us back our boy. Oh shit. He's in hell forever. God damn. This is one hell of a punishment. Jesus. Yeah, he's pissed. Huh. Use case. This is a good use case, isn't it? I like this shot, by the way. Not enough to spoil me. At least he's out of the boat, right? So maybe old boy kept his word and got him at least out of the boat. Look at that. Okay, so this one's actually is a writing problem, and it's a conundrum. Okay, Joss. I call it the Joss Whedon effect. He tends to make inappropriate jokes at inappropriate times, which undercuts the tone of a show or a movie. People complain about the MCU. Is still he did it in the Avengers, and it has kind of carried through. Like a lot of writers in the MCU have emulated it since then to varying effects. I don't mind the banter for the most part, as long as you have characters who don't engage in the banter. Then it's like because you get that kind of camaraderie in real life. People banter in real life. I banter in real life a lot. So do a lot of my friends and coworkers and stuff like that. We do it on the set. Sometimes we do it when things go bad. Like a couple months ago, we were up north somewhere, trying to get back home, and a hurricane had just hit the East Coast, and so there's a massive storm would come through, and we were trying to head south, and we were in kind of an isolated area. It wasn't near any interstates or anything. It was kind of just random, 2-lane roads that eventually in 20 miles will get you back to the interstate. So we're in that region, and so the first road we go south on, a tree had fallen over. Okay, so we're like, well, we can't go that way, so we backed up, went a little bit west, and went down the next southern road, and a tree had also crashed over that road as well. So we backed up, did it a third time, found another road south, and a tree had blocked that road as well. And so we started bantering. It was a bad situation. We started bantering about like various things, like too bad we don't have powers like in anime where we could just levitate. Because my coworker was getting out and trying to pull the tree because some of it was just like it was like a branch, kind of like imagine like the last 10 foot of a tree. Some was like that. How it's not very thick. And so it seemed like, at least to our eyes, that one person, one grown man, maybe could pull it. Maybe the two of us together could pull it, or something like that. But there was no pulling it. So we were bantering. So even in dark circumstances, we were like, "Are we going to have to spend the night in our car until like, services arrive?" And some of these roads were like really random. We were down to the random ass roads. They're like basically goat trails, one lane. The last road we tried that got blocked off was one lane. It was blocked off. I was having to do a 360 turn so we could go back the same way we came. And like if a car had come at that point, we could have been hit. Like it was a whole thing. It was very dangerous, very scary. It was also at night. It was dark. Rain still coming down. So it was a bad experience. We were still bantering. So people banter in bad experiences, right? So, it's a coping mechanism. So that's okay. That's why I've never really minded it in the MCU. The problem is when you do the banter right after a traumatic moment, it just doesn't work. Spoilers for if you haven't never watched Buffy, but I'm going to spoil you in the next minute of. Well, I won't specifically, but I'll say something that could be a spoiler. So just skip ahead a minute. The very last episode of Buffy, the season 7 series finale, there's a major character death, okay? And then that happens at about the 20-25 minute mark of a 42-minute episode. Okay, a few minutes later, everybody gets out, and the person who was in love with the person who died is there at the end. And the last line of dialogue he has is a quip. It's a quip about, the city had been destroyed, and he makes a quip, well, I guess we can't go to the mall anymore, or something like that, right? You could say coping mechanism, but it just doesn't land because somebody he loved had just died. Like literally in universe time, it had been about 20 minutes since she died. I tell you, man, I wasn't in a quipping, joking, bantering mood for weeks after Dad died. Like somebody I really cared about. So it doesn't work. Now here, like Yusuke obviously doesn't care about this kid, but it's still messed up. It's a messed up moment, and he's just got quip after quip after quip. I counted 5. Quips here. He had a quip at the end of the last episode, which I mentioned. At the last episode, I wasn't going to bring I was okay, one quip, whatever. I don't think it works. I don't think you can have him quipping right now after what you just did, right? I don't think you can do that. But here's the thing. the writer obviously has a certain tone, and Yusuke's character has a certain kind of character, and he makes quips, and you got these opportunities as you're writing. Okay, this would be a good joke. You put this here, that'd be a good joke. I'd do that too. You're writing. Wait a minute, here's a good opportunity for a joke. So what you do is you just put it in there, and then in your second and third pass, you're like, wait a minute, but on the previous page this happened, so I guess I got to take. I love this joke, but I have to take it out or move it because this just happened. Would they do that here? And so I think the writer has a conundrum here. It's like he doesn't want to drastically change the characterization of his character. Plus, it's a lighthearted, for the most part. I mean, people come here for the drama. They come here for the action. They come here for the world building, the magic. But they also come here for Yusuke with his shitty jokes, right? That's what he does. It's what he is. It's who he is. So I don't think we can fault him for that. The writer, I think it's a no-win scenario. The writer's in a no-win scenario. He wants to maintain the tone of the overall piece, even though we just had something really awesome happen that's also dark and messed up. And Yusuke is messed up by what happened. We see that in various moments in this episode and in the previous episode. But I don't think the quips work, but then you want him to quit because that's what he does. So I think it's fine. I just wanted to bring it up. I think the writer, I know, as good as this guy is, he thought about this. He probably sat there and scrutinized. It's like, okay, we're only this removed from that, but I really want this quip here. Let's just keep ourselves to the tone of this show, and it's fine. You could just say because not everybody's the same. Another character in his position wouldn't be doing that. They may even just not be talking much. Maybe just locked in on the mission, and we'll talk about this later, right? But, I think that the writer knew about this. He noticed it. He decided to just go with it. He made an informed choice. Like I said, there are rules in writing. You're allowed to break the rules as long as you know what the hell the rules are. You're allowed to break the rules. So that's what I think he did. I think the writer analyzed it and said, I'm just going to break the rule here. I'm just going to keep quipping. It's fine. And it is fine. So this isn't like a criticism. It's an observation, which I think is interesting.